Would you stand, pledge allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alex, would you lead us in prayer?
Yeah, let's pray. Heavenly Father, we love you so much, and we're so thankful for all that we have here in Cleveland. Lord, we are thankful for the freedom that we have to come together tonight to discuss the business of our town, Lord, and we just want to ask for liberty tonight, Lord, to say all that we want to say and to speak completely and truly how we feel, Lord. But we also ask tonight for discernment, Lord, that we would not speak in any way that might be in a sinful way against one another or against you, Lord. Lord, again, we're just so thankful for all the blessings that we have, and we just ask your Spirit now to come and be with us tonight. Amen.
Amen. We call the meeting to order. Here.
Councilman Roger Dable, present. Councilman Chad Taft.
Here.
Councilwoman Monica Moore. Here. Councilman Alex Faulkner.
Here.
Mayor James Sullivan.
Yes. Reading of the November 18th, 2025 special call meeting. Have you had time to look at that?
Yeah, I have. The only thing, this may not be pertinent, but I know that Miss Donna was late, and that's noted up there at roll call. But should it be added at some point where, and maybe it is, and I'm missing it, exactly at what point in the meeting that she came in? Because you know all these motions say all yes. And I don't know if Miss Donna was here for, it says chamber board, when we passed that to give $1,000, it says all yes.
Are you saying the 11th?
Yes. The 13th. On our normal meeting, on 13th.
I put up late 6:39.
Yes, but at what point in the meeting was that?
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Because all of these motions say, it just says all yes. So, and I know that Miss Donna.
I just did one, I think, voted once.
Correct.
I got here.
Okay. I'll make note, and I will, if any more is late, I will notate it in with the minutes whenever I talk about.
Okay, but should these be adjusted?
Yeah, we can adjust it. We can amend
We can amend it.
amend the minutes.
I have to go back and listen to the video.
Maybe just an approximate time.
Okay.
You know, I know if you start recording at 7, then try to figure that out.
Now that was on the regular council meeting. The
Yes.
special call meeting, I asked first, is anything on it?
Oh, sorry. I wasn't here for that.
Okay. Do we have a motion to accept the November 18th meeting?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Now then, reading of the November 13th meeting. Is any other corrections to it? If not, do we have a motion to accept that?
I'll make the motion to accept it.
Okay.
With
With
corrections.
correct.
With corrections. Yes. Okay. All right, on our agenda to speak tonight, we've got Mr. Cameron Clark, and the reason he's here is 6 weeks ago, I asked for a meeting with, it used to be Avenue, now it's Nemo, for some questions that I had. And they sent a lady down. She wrote this down. She couldn't answer any question while she was here. She didn't know. And we've tried several times calling to find out. and they still haven't answered any questions. So, we've asked Mr. Clark, he's with Alabama Department of Revenue. They also do what, Nemo does, with the exception, and I'll let him tell you with the exceptions. But, he's here to speak to y'all tonight and, explain all that they do. So, Mr. Clark, you want
So I am Cameron Clark. I'm the local tax liaison for the Alabama Department of Revenue in sales and use tax. So the Department of Revenue offers administration services to locals, to cities and counties. Administrative services are where we maintain the My Alabama Taxes website, or any of y'all business people that have filed sales tax. Have you ever filed? No?
Used to, yeah.
Okay, well, we have that. That's where you pay your state sales tax, and you can file your locals as well. We also have the collections department that goes after delinquents and follows through with audits. And then we do the auditing of the businesses to make sure compliance, make sure that everybody's receiving what they're supposed to. So all that service is put together with a fee that is either 2% of the gross collections or a certain amount per transaction, whichever is less. And a town of your size is in the 2% area. And if you want to look, this first page that I brought up, this is where we did a cost analysis about 2 years ago, and just doing the historical information. If you can see, you have the 2% and the per transaction, 2% per transaction, and each month the 2% is less. So it's the lesser of that is what is charged, and that's how we do that calculation. So for each month, it would have been that dollar value. So using the information that Miranda had provided from your Avenue data from those same months, we take Avenue's administrative fees and their audit fees and combine that to compare it, because for us, the admin and audit is all in one as well. And they have fluctuating fees, which can go up and down whether or not there's revenue found in each one of these audits or in the collections process. As he pointed out, they have salespeople. I'm an auditor for the state who just happens to be able to speak in public and not be a scared accountant. So the administrative services, like I said, we audit the businesses. We audit businesses outside the state. We call that foreign audit. So, would be at the Dollar General headquarters, or we be at Piggly Wiggly's headquarters, or at Jack's headquarters, or whatever businesses are relevant in your city, as well as looking at the local convenience stores or hardware stores, or anyone that you would, if she was looking at the records and noticed that there was people not being paid, where we find it. I just had a City of Weaver called me about a business. And she's like, I see they're paid here with this. And we went and looked, and the person had changed from individual to corporation. So she was looking at a different account. Oh, here they were being paid. So we keep up with that information. We, being state administered, we compare what they report to us as for the state to what they're reporting on their local return. And surprisingly, there's people who don't, come across fairly like they're supposed to, and especially when they've been running with a third-party company. I'm not trying to say bad about the third-party company. This is more about people who miss and dodge, people try to dodge taxes. It's a fact of life. And so we make those comparisons between what the state return has and what the local return has to make sure we're not missing any businesses. Thinking about what I've said, do you have any questions? I know it's a lot of information, money, fees, audit, that kind of thing.
Do you actually do the collections for us?
Yes. Yeah, when people file their returns on the My Alabama Taxes website, it's electronic funds transfer. That gets deposited once a week, twice on the week of the 20th, because sales tax is due by the 20th. The collections also would be delinquent people. So if you've got a business that's habitually late on their sales tax and stuff, they're probably a problem for us. But our collections people go out and get it, and when the money's collected, it's distributed between the state and the locality at the same time. We don't just go, state gets theirs, then we wait to get yours. We pay catch-up payments at the same time.
For my Alabama taxes, that's what you're talking about?
Right.
My Alabama, not like any.
If the website is called My Alabama
Yeah,
Taxes,
I've filed on
Okay.
that before, so that's why I was asking. It's
That
My
is-
Alabama taxes.
yes.
But you said it's not, so I filed once a year. Am I supposed to file monthly?
Well, if you've met a certain minimum criteria, you can be an annual file.
Okay,
Like
that's
if it's just a little craft business that makes a few $100s,
Yeah, yeah.
that can be an annual filer. But when
Okay.
people sign up, you're signed up to be monthly, and then once you go through a calendar period, if you meet certain levels, you can be monthly or quarterly and semi-annual.
I don't have way back to see numbers and all that kind of stuff, but if you got somebody delinquent, what do you, how often, how do you catch that?
So,
And how long do you let that go before you go collect that?
well,
And
there's
if you
process.
can't collect it, how long does it take to get them in court to collect it?
I have good stories on that. So, let's say a business starts. They're open this month. They have to file their tax by the 20th of the next month. Okay, so then we allow them to go through to the next month. Now, when the second month comes on, they're 1 month behind.
Right.
And they'll either get an email or a request, but by the third month, we're attempting to make contact with them. This goes on till either we take them to court for padlock, but we've run into where a local judge says, y'all work this out. And then we've had other places where we padlock someplace. So we have access to, fishing license, boating license, ABC license, and all that as forms of persuasion, and denying them their business license is also a helpful way of doing that. So and being a state administered locality, if it's a collections issue, you don't have to involve anybody else. You don't have to involve outside attorneys or anybody else. It goes with it. If an audit is contested and it goes to the tax tribunal or circuit court, our legal team represents it, because the audit's probably going to contain state and local at the same time, any kind of delinquencies.
So when you do these audits for different places, do you do that audit just for local, or you share in that cost with other people that would be, say, other municipalities? It's a big company.
There's no additional charges. So being a 2% fee, let's say we go to audit the local co-op, something like that, and we find your city is, they missed something, rates are wrong or whatever, and there's revenue that should have been there. The only fee that would come out of it would be the 2% when they pay it. So there's not an additional fee to it. We don't charge by the hour or anything like that, or, so the person that's in Bentonville, Arkansas, doing Walmart, if they know there's direct deliveries here and they find that we'll pick up that use tax.
Right.
Sales tax. Those kind of
So
things.
that chart that they have, is that the fees?
This chart,
Yes.
so this is just showing a comparison of the 3 months where the tax dollars collected, what the state fee was at an average of about $1,100 a month, and where Avenue had fluctuating fees between $2,600 to $9,600.
But did that include just the tax or business license too?
No, that's all the sales tax only. So when I do these comparisons, I
That's
don't,
what I was
I
wondering.
keep this business license. Also, we cannot collect the alcohol, beer, or wine tax. It's by law, the way my Alabama taxes was set up, they call it one spot also. It's for sales, use, lodgings, rental taxes. Same thing with municipal gasoline taxes. They can be filed voluntarily by the distributors through the state system, and we'll distribute the money to them, but we don't audit or anything like that for small.
But Avenue is able to collect those?
Yeah, their flexibility, I'll give them, they're a private company, so they have a little more flexibility. We have to do what the law says, and the way the law is set up, my Alabama taxes website is the rules we're under.
And
How
you,
long y'all done this? Oh, forever?
As long as sales tax has been around, it changed over the years where, before, when checks were mailed, people weren't happy with Montgomery, and then different things, and the private companies have come up, but then private companies have lost some customer service and flexibility, and we've picked up on, we've modernized electronic funds transfer. We have 9 taxpayer service centers around the state. Y'all are in the Gadsden taxpayer area. Huntsville, Birmingham, all around. Hundreds of auditors in the state that are already auditing for the state. So it's really, for us, when we're doing an audit, it's just checking the box of your locality. And if we find an invoice or find a transaction that should have been tax due to you, we just put it in and add it to the audit. It's not, and even if, like I said, even if she's looking at the reports and she notices, I just used feed and seed as a blanket, and she notices the feed and seed is looking low, or the new restaurant seems really, really low, a lot of cars out there every week, and she calls us, okay, we take a look, and they're probably cheating on us as well, and, there's no additional cost for the audit, and it can be beneficial. We don't go into the audit saying, city clerk called your city, but those audits are ongoing, and when we've had other people that have switched over, we could be in the middle of an audit and someone switch it over, and we'll actually wait an extra month to pick that up for that locality. So,
but you do not collect any business licenses,
no,
as I understand that correctly?
no, yeah, that is correct. We don't.
So that would be the biggest differences between you and Avenue, would be they're able to collect all the beer and the wine and all that stuff, the
Right,
municipal gas taxes and business licenses.
right,
I understand that correctly?
yes,
So we would have to do business licenses in-house, correct?
And with the third party company that we are currently with, somebody comes in to renew their business license,
Mhm.
they give me a credit card. This is what it got called. They give us a credit card. We charge a fee for the credit card,
Which is how much?
$2.50.
59 cents.
Yeah. And that, but there's a convenience fee added on top. The Avenue is added on top of the taxpayer already. And then when we asked when we had that meeting, she had to get back with us, and come to find out, they were charging a credit card fee also. So our business owners are being charged twice for using their credit cards.
How much?
Where did the credit card go through it? Did you make the transaction?
Yes, I made the transaction here,
So
but they
that's,
charge.
so Avenue wasn't supposed to be charging.
No.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, they should.
yeah, there's a lot.
On this chart, does that, that's the state's cost versus Avenue cost?
yes,
Yes.
that was directly from the Avenue reports for those same months.
Why are they so much higher? Is that your
The
Your
variable
fees.
audit fees.
The audit fees, that's like, this comparison is from 2023, and, let's see, right here.
Well, unless it's changed, and it could have, because I ain't dealt with it in a while. But unless it's changed, you got to okay those audits. They don't,
With Avenue,
with Avenue.
Yes,
You
I mean,
can
they'll
have
send
that.
it to you, like, and you okay the audit, or either you don't okay the audit. So, that's kind of left up to you.
yeah,
in
but the
2023,
problem,
they went ahead and did audits that we did not approve. And how much money did they have to refund us back in 2023? It was a lot.
Well, I'd be asking where the approval was.
We did.
They refunded.
Yeah, they refunded it,
Okay.
but they're not doing it now. Now I have to approve, if I get something, I have to, if they want.
So
something
you're
audited.
approving these?
This
for
is
the audit.
2023.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is 2023. This is how, in 2023, we looked at this,
Okay.
okay? And that's whenever, in 2023, they had charged us an outrageous amount of audits.
But did they refund that?
They did.
Okay.
But now, current today,
So is these figures before refund or after refund? Like,
before,
Okay, I got you. That makes sense.
but now, if, something pops up for an audit, it has to be approved.
Right. Well, that's the way it was several years ago. If they was gonna do an audit, they sent forms and somebody had to okay that audit. But that's why I was asking you a while ago. Usually if you've done an audit on somebody, that could be shared with, say, Cleveland, Aniana, or county and different places, because it might be, that guy might be doing business here or there too, so it could be shared everywhere, and it wouldn't be so much. The audit, according to how much time, I guess, it took.
What were the other, so those were the questions that you asked Avenue, was about the audits that we did not approve, I guess, or.
That was some of the biggest thing.
And then the credit card issue?
The biggest issue was, and we've gotten into it before, is they don't monitor. They may let it go 6, 8, 10 months. And you happen to see, well, they just send something that says late. And they don't let us know that these people's not paying. So by then, we get into a situation where we got into a couple of years ago with somebody here in Cleveland. It was a big amount of money. Well, by that time, they can't just fork it out. Now you have to go to court, and the judge has to say, okay, you pay X amount of dollars a month till you get this taken care of.
Is that what you said a while ago, though, that it's, they're monitoring it, but it's our responsibility to find it and let him know?
No.
Or which way to go?
If you're state administered, their delinquency will trigger us to make the contact.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't know how they handle their delinquents or anything like that about their auditors.
Well, they kind of let it go, but in a way, maybe I shouldn't be saying this. In a way, we should have caught that too. It wasn't this administration or whatever, but they should have caught it quicker, before it got to that point.
Some things get out of
I
hand.
mean, you would think, I don't see reports,
Right.
I'm
But
just,
some things kind of get out of hand. There was one northeast of here. The city and the county were both administered by the same people you have. And the city clerk asked me, how long is the state going to let somebody not pay their taxes?
right,
Well, I went back and talked to our collections person and found it was being processed through their municipal court. And the person was a well-liked business person, and they didn't want to push any, that kind of stuff. And so y'all keep working it out. And the guy would make 2 or 3 payments, and then it starts the whole collection process again. And here comes months and months and months again.
Yeah.
So that kind of, where somebody thought the Department of Revenue was doing something that really was
somebody
more
loves
local.
Talk about deliveries and people, a business that may not per se be a brick and mortar building business, but might be doing like
Yeah, that's,
pest control or some type of service business. How is there?
well, that wouldn't be a sales tax issue.
That'd just be
It's
license.
business license.
Right. But like
deliveries.
like somebody selling in, that's seller's use tax, which is a mirror of sales tax. That's where like they have a salesman selling equipment to the feed and seed or, whatever land company or.
But like sometimes we get like grocery delivery.
Right. A lot of that is picked up with the simplified seller's use tax. So if you're doing it through DoorDash or Uber Eats or maybe the Walmart delivery or something like that, that sales tax goes into the simplified seller's use tax, which is that big pool of money which is distributed by population.
So at Avenue North, you would have no interaction per se with.
They would collect it. Cause that's the simplified seller's
that-
use tax.
That's
and
the
that is
state.
reported through the Department of Revenue, and that is deposited into our accounts.
Yeah, that's direct
It's
deposit
reported
with
through
no,
Avenue.
that has no fee.
You see, Avenue, or the third party, they get their data off Alabama Department of Revenue's website. It's a file that they get, move it over to their program, and then disperse it out.
You said audits didn't cost us extra for you, right?
Correct. There's no additional
And you
fees
do,
for
and you do the collection too?
and the collections, yes. There's a collections department, an auditing department in the Gadsden office.
So you do it monthly, or I mean, you keep
We're,
up
we're
to date?
constant, right. Every month they run their delinquent reports and collections. Us for auditors, we're always constantly looking for leads. Audits lead to audits. You see a news article about some business talking about their brand new piece of equipment, but you don't see them paying any use tax, you can find that. So, we're also working with Airbnbs and the short-term rentals and things like that, using some AI tools to keep up with that. So this is what shows up when we send in an audit. The third party, Alabama is different, that you can be third party, state administered, or self-administered. So,
We've always been third party, haven't we? Always use somebody outside.
No, we used to several years ago was with the
With the
state.
state.
Several years ago, then whenever they changed, they went with, it was called Alatax, I think that time, or.
It's been 3
so
different.
Alatax, RDS, Avenue, and now
I think it was Alatax. I don't know, Alex was around back then, and Cleveland was big. Cleveland was big back then, but I know when they switched, and like I said, they was with the state for years. And then when they switched to whoever, and then all that changed, the town's revenue probably increased by 30%. Just by changing that. What was the difference when state and Avenue?
that was probably back in the paper return.
Yeah.
Before electronic.
I don't know, but then, of course, business license tied in there with that also.
Mhm.
That was a help where they cross-reference everything, and then, of course, business license increased tremendously,
Right.
because we tried to do that ourselves, and that didn't work. You can't go to a business and ask them, who all do you do business with? They'll give you a list, but they ain't gonna give you all of them.
So if we went with him, how did we do the beer liquor they're talking about?
Well, there's a program. Now, I just brought him in tonight. This is not something we've got to do right now. It's something for y'all to look into, think about, look at the numbers, because we would have to look at a program to do business license and alcohol
In-house.
to bring it in-house. And there's a couple in the county that's doing that. I just wanted y'all to be aware that we have talked to Avenue, or Nemo, whoever they are now. And we've not gotten anywhere yet.
Are your alcohol taxes on the distributor or at the retail level? How's your ordinance read?
The ordinance reads 12% on alcohol, none on beer or table wine. We tax the distributor off of the beer, what is it called? Yeah, it's like the beer, I gave you all.
So that's at the distributor level? So
Yes, on the
you have
distributor level.
you have access to that information, purchase data through the
The
RAP.
ABC board.
That's already available to you.
Yes.
So you could use that to check up on to make sure that even the current.
If you tax it on the distributor level, you're not taxing on the consumer level, right?
For our ordinance, we do not. We
I
just,
mean, that'd be double tax.
no,
There's no law against it.
there's no law against that.
We just-
Other municipalities.
That's what it is, it's just no law.
Right, yes,
Consumer
It's not-
level eventually.
They are, other municipalities, they have amended their ordinances to say X amount percent on retail, on the table wine and beer.
And right now, we are only taxing liquor,
Liquor, correct, 12%.
12%.
Yes,
So the only beer that's being tax dollars that's being collected from the town of Cleveland on beer and wine
it's
is what we
distributed,
get from the distributor.
correct. And I gave y'all a formula.
It sure is a lot.
Not really.
Well, it used to be. It was 104, we collected 140 something
On
thousand.
alcohol, if you look at the beer and the wine, with the distributors, it's nowhere near what the, alcohol is.
Just so we got more liquor drinkers than we have beer drinkers.
I find that hard to believe.
Well, during cold weather, sometimes you move ships.
Well, we've got off on that. Is there any other questions, Mr. Clark?
But you're saying then, so nobody's paying a beer or wine tax through Avenue?
Correct, it's just for the distributors.
Can you tax on, we can tax on the selling though of it.
Yes, yes,
So-
yes,
They're paying a lot of tax to drink, right?
if you drink alcohol.
Well, for kind of a wrap up, if there's a decision made that you would want to go with the state, all we need is a resolution naming us as your administrator for the sales and use tax. It needs at least a 30-day lead in from the end of the month to start the month. So there's not a contract. I'm not a salesman. I'm not here trying to get a commission or anything like that. So, and once that happens, we go into work and we pull the historical data so that when we do audits, we can have that information to either prove that somebody did or did not pay their sales tax in past periods.
And there's an example resolution in our packet. We went ahead and drafted it up for y'all to review in case a decision was made today. There is
So you can take an invoice from out of state that was delivered here and see if they, charge sales tax, report it to you.
If someone is auditing someone and we have the invoice information and there is a delivery address and it was you, if you were state administered, we would pick that up. So yes, our foreign auditors are out doing that at businesses outside of the state. And, you know, there's an audit report and I go and look at other cities at times and, you know, there's $2 or $3 or something coming in, but it's coming from someone like Dollar General or Wayfair or someone like that where it was something that was due. So yes, and there's not an additional charge for that.
Is
You
that
don't
state
have-
audit, is that state audit that's out of state?
Yes,
Alabama
state
state?
employees that live out of state. We're training a girl that's living in Nashville. She comes down to the Huntsville office a couple of times a week. So that kind of thing.
And save money.
So the annual savings you have here on the bar graph, that's
That was based
That's
on,
just based on fees, what would be, I guess, stay in our pocket compared.
well, according to Miranda, so y'all have restricted their ability to just do audits on their own, so it's cut down on those fees. So if they were just, if Avenue was just giving you no audit service, their fee is probably by your contract is like 1.95%.
1.95%
For the per
or the per
transaction.
transaction.
But they count their transactions differently.
Yes, they do.
They have a lesser value, but they count the 0 transactions.
I ran a report, guys, and on the fees and stuff, it was almost like, what, $45,000, wasn't it, Mayor?
What
So
period
I got
of
business
time?
license. No, it was all of it. It was all of it. But that's $45,000.
For how long?
It was for last year.
Oh, yeah.
If it was business license
And alcohol tax.
and all that, you know, we bring it back in, bring it back in house, that's money back in Cleveland.
So can we absorb that with the personnel we got now? We got to hire somebody.
Well, that was my concern. One, yes, we save money from fees, but if I'm hearing correctly, we're gonna have to purchase something else to do business licenses and all the other,
Got software program.
Your software.
and sounds like if you're gonna have to do all that, then it's gonna be more work on the clerk.
Well, people already come in and I do their business license because they don't want to deal with that third party, because it's difficult. They don't, they don't like dealing with them because they can never get their business license, et cetera, et cetera. They come in, I print it out and give it to them. So I'm already doing Avenue more. You're doing all of them. Yeah, I will have a lot more. but-
Well, we've got the part-time girls that could learn that program along. They could, you know, they could do it also.
And also, in some of the programs, you can add other things in that program, like e-permits, all different types of things that we could build into that program. Like you building permits and all that stuff too.
But like I said, this is something we don't have to do right this minute. You know, we need to look at what the cost of a software program is. And we may need to set a work session, just to sit down and go over everything. And
I wonder if somebody from Avenue might come here.
well, we can call and ask.
What's this, Locust Fork
I think that's all computer generated.
Bluffsville is with,
We do another bluff.
no.
I know, we're gonna do the opposite.
Bluffsville is,
They're currently moving to, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Mayor. They are currently going this route to my understanding.
And Locust Fork,
I don't know about Locust Fork.
and Hayden's actually pretty big.
Locust Fork is state administered, Sneed is state administered, All Good is state administered, Island Lake is state administered,
So you,
yes.
state administered.
Sounds like the state's more trustworthy.
Walker County just switched over to us, leaving that company.
What's on the line?
They just went,
Do you do bluff?
no, they're at,
there you go, there you go.
Aniana,
I've not
With
gone on
the
it.
state, they've got the program to do the license.
They stick with it.
Matter of fact, Alex had told me about, you know, might get with them to see what their program is.
They're bringing everything in-house too, back.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, you'd have to ask Alex.
Cherokee County,
So we can
Cleveland
look
County.
at-
The city just bought a program that's about 10,000,
Uh,
but
Other
we-
cities.
we've been doing business
They're,
in-house for a
I
while.
think they're with them. In Sneed with y'all?
It works better than.
Well, they're coming back to us, yes.
Yeah.
They had switched over to Avenue, and then the new Kim Morris, the clerk, she wanted to switch back to state administrator.
And I know that the city of Lincoln, they brought all their stuff back in-house too, and they are way bigger than that stuff. And they're bringing all their stuff,
Is it,
all that stuff.
just asking, is there a benefit at all though from you not having to collect or us in person with our business owners?
Possibly, yes, I would say possibly.
I mean, if anybody's gonna argue with Jerry Wayne or somebody about paying the taxes, you know,
You talking about taxes or license?
all there, I mean,
all
just
that.
collecting, period.
Well, with taxes, they would have to deal with them. The license, they would have to deal with us.
But they're already doing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, some of them,
Majority.
yeah, some of them. But like I said, let's move on, unless y'all got some other questions for Cameron. And, we need to discuss it, you know, we'll discuss it further, look into it, and, then make a decision. Okay. Next on the list is the mayor's report to the council, animal shelter. We had an incident where Bill called the animal shelter about a dog that needed to be put down, it got run over. And they said, we're not taking anything, and the animal officer he's not coming out. But we're paying, you know, we're paying him every year. And from what I understand, they've had to take the officer that was doing the picking up of the dogs I think they've had to put him in a SRO position or something like that. But they wouldn't take the dog, so Bill carried the dog up here to the vet, and he graciously put him down. He didn't charge the town for it. But I just wanted y'all to be aware of what's going on.
What's the solution to that though? I mean, is there any other option?
I don't know one. I just want y'all to be aware that, you know, they want our money, but when every time we've called, just about they're either full or their animal control officer is not working. So, you know,
you know, my background lobbied for, you know, and our police officers basically said they could never get the animal shelter people help at all. Well, we never did pay this. How much money was it, Mayor?
$2,100.
It's so much per citizen,
Yes.
basically,
Yeah.
for their services. They were asking for a donation. Now, I didn't know when I first started trying to, that really goes to the county. It doesn't go straight to the animal shelter. So they may not be getting all that money or not, the way I understand it. But my argument was we ought not expect service if we're not even paying the minimum. But if we're paying it and still not getting anything, that's just like you say, they're completely different.
Well, is that, when we do that, is that worded as like a contract, as we're paying this much per citizen to get these services, or it's just a donation?
Donation.
It's just a donation.
And it's a request, it's not a requirement.
Just a request.
But again, my thing was, well, we can't really fuss about their services being bad if we're not even giving the donation versus what, say, somebody else might be.
But I'm just bringing this up to you, to where, you know, I may bring something up next month, to where next year when they ask, what do y'all wanna do? Then you can go back and say, well, we've had this many incidents. It's not really helping us none.
Have we talked to anybody on their end? As Bill, or you reached out to the animal shelter and said, what's the deal with it, other than it's full,
full.
we ain't got,
It's full.
do they have?
You file a complaint with the county administrator, and I get Bill to do that, where they can start logging complaints coming. There's no excuse if they have somebody on duty that they can't provide service here. We're next door. You know, it's not like they gotta go to the county line, you know, to pick a dog up, but you can file a complaint with the county administrator. That's what I'd suggest.
Okay, I'll get the bill on that.
And then what, does that fall, I mean, it's a sheriff's deputy that is the animal
Yes.
control officer. So does the sheriff fall into
No, it
it?
falls under the county commission.
So the sheriff has
And
no
Well,
say
the county
over-
commission, the sheriff falls under the county commission, so.
Well, if we're getting the same crappy service, whether we're donating or not, we won't donate next time.
And I think where the problem is, and, you know, I don't want to sound cruel, but that was put over there for the purpose of getting these dogs out of the towns that was aggressive and having, you know, they destroying stuff, but it's actually turned into an adoption service. And they keep them so long till there's so many dogs, they run out of space. So, you know, at some point you have to say, well, this poor little fella right here's got to go, you know.
They did put a deadline on it. When the little fella has to go.
About 3 or 4 months. I'm talking about weeks.
Sounds like I need to start spade and neuter instead of so much.
It'll always be on it.
Yeah, it will. It all.
And my family will always give. But again, when I lobbied and it was against the grain to donate to it, you know, I was like, well, we can't complain about their service if we're not even giving them.
Well, and they are in the town, a water customer.
Yes.
Sewer customer too.
Water and sewer, yeah.
It's a Blunt County home shelter, so I'm assuming that they get money from everybody, correct?
They asked for it.
Yeah, they asked for
it. Now, I never have saw a breakdown on who gives. I just, like I said, they were fussing about it being poor service. And I just brought up the fact that we don't give. That could be why we're getting, like if Steve, those folk, and they give, they may be getting preferential treatment, you know, or they might just say, please don't even give, ain't coming down there, you know. But if we're giving and they're not coming,
But I just wanted you to aware of what was.
But you'll file a complaint with the county.
Yes, we'll do that.
I'll file one
Okay.
with where it counts.
Well, that's what we're talking about. We've talked a little bit about the beer and wine tax, and I've asked Alex to look into that, and I don't think you probably had time to.
I have it there, but I'll share with the council what I told you, that I was shocked. Our ordinance here is modeled after Oneonta's, because Oneonta was wet before we did. And, I cannot for the life of me understand why that's different on the retail side. But, I'm gonna look into it. We'll straighten it out.
Okay.
So we ended up different on the retail side than Oneonta?
Apparently, and that wasn't the intent. I can't remember any discussions as to why it should have been different. Because I modeled our ordinance after what Oneonta had done. So I was very surprised when James mentioned that to us. So I'm gonna look into it. I'll find out why. If there's a change, if there's a difference, we'll make an amendment and correct it.
Do we feel ours should be the same
We should be.
as Oneonta?
There was there were some discussions about Sunday sales, and there are some differences in the two ordinances, for sure. But there shouldn't have been on the retail side of beer and wine sales. So again, I'm surprised. So I'm gonna go back and take a look at it.
2014, whenever the ordinance was written, that was a 2014.
I think for Oneonta, when did we go with? No, it's probably 2016 for Oneonta. What's our ordinance number?
Let's say, I like that.
It would have had to have been
2017 or 18?
It might be
18, 19, somewhere around
might be
that.
2017.
Because I had come back on the council
Okay,
before that,
for the vote.
before the vote. Okay. Any other questions on the beer and wine tax? Okay, the last of the Raymond James money has come in. And I bring it to the council, you wanna do it the same we done the other, put it in the CD.
A motion we do that.
Okay, I second. We have a motion and a second to, put that money in a CD.
Councilman Justin Grigsby,
Yes.
Councilwoman Donna McDougal,
Yes.
Councilman Chad Pass,
Yes.
Councilwoman Michael Moore,
Yes.
Councilman Alex Baldwin.
Yes.
Okay, with that. I can understand, I knew at one time when I went down there and done one, all I had to do was just go down there, put it in. Well, this time they're telling me, we all gotta sign. I don't understand, for putting it, I can understand for taking it out, I don't understand for putting it in. But anyway, I'll make sure when I go down there next week, that if y'all have to, I'll call y'all and you can just run by, cause they'll fix the paperwork, you can just run by and sign.
There's like all the council has?
So, no, the ones that's on the,
The signers,
Just to
on
see.
the sign,
all
yeah,
four signers.
all four signatures. Okay, report from the park board.
Everybody should have a copy of a says soccer field rental agreement. So I reported, I guess over the past couple months, there's been some discussion. There's some new people that's taken over the soccer league that has been using the park for the past couple of years, and they would like to continue using the park beginning in March through the end of May. And this is just a draft of an agreement that the park board would like to present to the council. Like I said, they're not really wanting to start until March, so we don't necessarily have to approve this now. But I just wanted to present that to everybody, where everybody could put some eyes on it and see if there was anything we needed to add.
You talking about the park here or park?
This would be for the County One field.
March to May.
March 1st to the end of May, yes ma'am. And we put in there that they would agree $15, that they would pay $15 per participating child. How many did they estimate? It's like
between 150 to 200 kids.
Okay.
That's from all over the county, so it's not just here in Cleveland. It's just the
Yes, on
County as a
Blunt
whole.
County.
yes.
So
If they be through for like football practice starts and all that.
right, it would just be a springtime thing.
They maintain the field, so they keep the grass cut and stuff like that. I'm understanding.
We'll have to keep-
Yeah, Benny would still mow, but we put maintain the field in good condition, just mainly just litter, trash, anything like that.
I think we put in there something about, the town wasn't able to get out there to mow it whenever so it was that was a big thing this past time that they rented a field was, hey, we need to mow it today. It's like, well,
Yeah, and-
we only have a guy that's part-time doing that. You're gonna have to, if you wanna get it mowed, mow it yourself, if you would like, so.
And what I would, let me say too, that, and I said this earlier, this is a different bunch that's doing it than before, so I hope we don't have those issues. But I would also like to, whenever they do start, Steve, to figure out what days and what times they're gonna be there and try to coordinate a time. I don't want Benny to have to be moving their stuff.
Those things are heavy.
Yeah,
So we're gonna try to coordinate with them to move it out of the way. That way Benny can come and mow real quick, and then whenever they come to practice the next time or
Or
a
just-
game, they can move it back.
just say Benny's gonna mow on this day, so they need to make sure that their stuff is moved to one area. That way he's not having to move their stuff. I don't want the town to be liable for Benny tearing up their stuff when he's trying to move it around to get the grass mowed. So, and I don't know if there's anything, that might be something that needs to be spelled out in this before we approve it. But that's all that I had from, well, as far as this, I just wanted to present that to the council and let everybody look it over. I don't think that's we don't have to necessarily approve that now, but probably sometime, probably January, we would need to just let them know.
Our next meeting,
Yeah,
be ready.
in January, we probably need to make any changes we need to make and approve it then. Other thing I had from the park board is the band is still taking over the concession stand,
Yes.
beginning this fall season. So, I know, yeah. I
That
think
worked out good, did it last year?
Yeah, so,
Are we charging them anything? Get it for free?
They do it for free, I believe.
yeah, I mean, they just keep whatever profit they make.
Goes to the band.
We see it as a service, cause
And we tried, the park board tried its best to get volunteers and parents to help, and it ended up being Justin, Ashley, Justin's wife, and just a handful that did it the whole ball season, all while trying to coach and watch their kids play, all in between. So
That's always been a problem.
that's always been the problem, and probably always going to be the problem. As long as the band does a good job and everybody's happy, I personally think that would be the best thing to do going forward.
That was,
It gives them an opportunity. It's an easy fundraiser for them. They're already concession stand people anyway because they do it on Friday nights here. So
Well, if we're helping the community band or otherwise, that's why we're here.
that's, yes. When the park board began to discuss not doing the concession stand, I felt like it was, that we needed to at least offer it to the band before we offered it to any individual, just to try to keep that money in the youth, in the community.
And they need it.
And they need it. So that's the only thing I had from the park board. You
Any
have
other-
anything else?
Any other questions from the council? Report from the grant committee.
Applied for 3 grants before I left out Tuesday. The T-Mobile grant, I need a letter.
I'm picking it up in the morning.
Okay, because we need to get 3 letters, and I need another letter from somebody in the community in regards to the need for the pool crew.
Yeah, we,
Drive-through or pool crew. And Tommy Tuberville, he's also given a letter of support for it. And that's for T-Mobile, because that's shovel ready. I heard today, on my way back, that we should hear sometime next month, possibly in February, that LWCF of all that. Because since we were recommended, for funding, and then they were gonna have to do revisions, and then we're waiting to hear what revisions were needed.
Remind me what the LWBM was.
That's for the golf course.
Big,
For
big,
the grant.
that we put up on that for.
Yes. And
Big.
I need a cheat sheet.
on the foundation grant, I applied for that for just the concession stand. And,
The new concession.
the new concession stand, yes. That way it was solely on that project.
And how much was that for?
I went 200,000,
Thousand?
yes,
Okay. Make sure.
no, yeah, 200,000.
And that was no match.
No, that's free money.
all these she applied for is like a no match.
Yeah, and it can go with federal funds.
How much was the T-Mobile one for?
T-Mobile was 50. I asked her 65. I mean, you know, why not ask for more?
But that'll go towards the
Yes.
cover at the.
Yes. Even if they was to give us, just 25,000.
Yeah.
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 I think I would.
Thought they were supposed to already start that.
He met with his concrete guys last week, so hopefully he's get started here. Yeah, hopefully get started this coming week. Okay. And that's where we put pre-construction meeting. That's where he met with them on the medical claim. Chamber board.
The chamber board did not meet this month, so.
How was the parade?
The parade was great. I tell you, it was the biggest one they'd ever had. They broke all kinds of records, they said. But really what made it worthwhile was the little boy that's got the Huntington's disease. We got to meet him, and we gave him some things from one of those coins from the police department, and color book, and some other stuff, and it just, it brought a big smile to his face. But he can't sit up, he has to be either leaning back or somebody holding him. But it was worth going over there and being in that parade just for him, to see him. So it was a good thing. And we was up at the front, so I was out of there and back home, and Tricia was watching the parade, and she watched it another 20 or 30 minutes after I got home. So that's how big it was. it was a big parade. Utility board.
The only thing I have is we've had a lot of breakdowns here within the last month, but we're keeping up.
Barry?
Everything's running.
Okay.
What's breaking down? I saw Eric driving another truck the other day. Is his truck broke?
Well, we had
That's what I'm measuring.
we had a motor go out over the booster station, the well, and then we've had sewer valve problems down there that's been really expensive and a 2-week process of trying to find stuff to fix it. But like I said, we keep it going. Which truck did?
It looked like you're
Oh,
over.
yeah, they drive out there and they just try to keep the battery up. And it don't work.
I've been able to take daily showers, so thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for your service, Steve.
Police department, I don't think they have anything. As far as, new business, we talked about the resolution, but we're gonna talk about the, revenue for the Alabama Department of Revenue, but there's a sample ordinance. Did you look to see if you got that? Alex?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
And it's what I've seen from other municipalities.
okay. Your general fund and water department, November financial statements is in here. If you have any questions, we'll be glad to sit down with you.
I have some questions about the financial statements. It's not necessarily pertaining to the statements, but the software that we use, Zero, does that communicate, like, are our bank accounts linked to that in some way? Or do we have to, like, manually look at bank statements and enter information into Zero?
You're gonna have to ask Michelle that, because I don't reconcile.
The reconciliation, we download it and then that's put over into Zero, like electronically, imported. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, so it
It's
comes
imported
out,
from the bank into Zero, and then I have to reconcile each item, make sure the check amount's coming through, deposits.
okay. Yeah, my only question was, here's what I'm concerned with the financials. I wanna know what comes in, what goes out, who's getting it, and how it aligns with the budget. So is there, and I'm just simple, is there a better way that we could do this?
This is your budget variance, right? Alright. This is.
This is right.
Here's your variance. And it is difficult to understand on that. And
Well, I just wonder, just general things like this, mayor and council salaries. Well, I think I would prefer to see Alex Faulkner got paid $300, James got paid $1,000.
yeah, because this is y'all as a whole.
Right.
Yeah. And then this is what was budgeted for the month. And then this is what has been spent so far. October.
And then, same thing here, public safety for salaries.
So you wanted a more detailed.
Well, I just think that it could be, would it not be easier just to look, for us to just look at the bank statement?
If that's what y'all wish. But per, your handbook, there is code, right? That y'all get a copy of the financial statements. And the bank statement's something different than, it's still financial statements. But, we have to still give y'all that.
Okay.
Now, Michelle's got a report that comes out.
I only do it on the big accounts, so, that's just what's been requested in the past.
Yeah.
The check registers is what he's talking about, that should be in there somewhere, should be
Mhm.
packet, but it's just on general fund and O and M and park. So you want a check register, but you're wanting what's going out and what's coming in, right? So bank statement would probably be the easiest thing on that?
I don't really know.
Let me, I'll show you. Is it in this? Yeah, it's in there. It's not in this, it's in here.
No, I pulled all this out.
Did they just subdivide that acre lot?
This is other stuff.
I don't
This
know
is
that
all
we
that
had
in my.
anything, since it had to go through.
It should have been on the very bottom. So I do these each month for y'all and the mayor, but it's just general fund part. This is what's been paid out. This is just checks that have been wrote out. So it's not deposits or, and then O and M. But I could do all of the accounts, but it's not gonna show you what came in. That's only what checks were wrote out. So that's just gonna be the checks that were wrote out.
This one here.
Yeah, it's not gonna be deposits, it's not gonna be like any automatic drafts or anything like that, so.
What is the police department?
No, because they're in general fund. They're just in general fund. Well, yeah, this would contain any checks that was written for the police department. But like the payroll and stuff that you're asking.
Yeah, that's what.
Payroll, it's not.
And Brett Plunkett told me.
But I can, and payroll's only gonna show an overall total.
Go through, cause you parked out here, didn't you?
Have a survey.
It's just
You
gonna
can go
show
all the way,
this is all
all the way
the
through, out that door back there, it'll be a
And
lot
the
closer.
But the person that bought them.
I don't know if that
I understand what I'm asking.
Yes. On a
It
detailed,
just seems like that's very generalized.
yeah, you want more of a detailed ledger of where the funds are going versus the budget that's.
And where it's coming from, too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem if there's no
No,
legal reason not to. Is there any legal reasons for them not to get a bank statement for the accounts?
No, as long as it's not per provider. You can't do it. You
No,
can't
it
put
just
names
says,
on
like,
it.
right now, it just says, after you deposited this amount,
Every
and,
major
yeah.
account, to see if there's an increase or decrease in a major, tax-paying entity, you do it by account, because you can't do it by name.
Like, if you're wanting more of this
And then
detail
you can,
for like
you can have
payroll,
the name on the side.
I think that's more where
I think that's what you're asking for, you know, for more of the payroll stuff. I can get with Martin and see about him writing a report versus it just being a general, you know, this month, police department salary was X amount of dollars. Or O&M salary is X amount of dollars, mayor council X amount of dollars, and then list it out. I can get with Martin.
Okay, I think that's more what I'm just looking for.
So not bank statements, or do y'all want bank statements?
Let me look at what she's got,
And then you'll let us know.
and
Okay.
then we'll.
I mean, I don't mind giving y'all bank statements to go along with it, I just need to know.
Okay. We're gonna need to go into executive session for personnel reasons. Do I have a motion? Can I mention one thing? You can. Before we go into executive session. Is there a way where we can see an agenda, our financial statements, and any minutes that need to be approved prior to coming here? Can we set a set day where that would be available?
Absolutely, because
I think should be in the organizational ordinance. It's normally
Well, we
3
can get the-
business days prior to the council meeting.
We'll
It's
get
supposed
the-
to be posted.
yeah, and you know, I had discussed with Mayor also about on the website doing a calendar, and then that way the public, they can have access to it also. So,
Have you seen the website?
ours,
It's not working.
clevelandal.gov.
It wasn't earlier today.
Well, I could,
Normally, you can't get on the agenda after, in our case, probably Monday, we do the agenda.
AL.gov.
let me get with Mr. Dutton.
I just went to that and it popped up closed for the holidays and all that.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, maybe something.
redo, yes, and close that out and try to refund.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but could you maybe just send that, just say, first of the month, hey, come pick up your agenda and all that?
Yeah.
And make sure that he gets it, our department heads get it and all that.
Cause I told you what the cutoff was, what, 2 o'clock on Wednesdays, to add anything on the agenda, or resolutions and ordinances, because, you know, we were getting stuff in late, and we was having to, so, we, you know, maybe a cutoff time of what we want on the agenda. That's the reason I always ask, hey, do you have anything
Would
on board?
it be, I know I've heard the county do this, and Aniana may do this too. If, say, something doesn't make that, do we put it in our procedures that we approve the agenda? Or give an opportunity in the procedures to amend?
Yeah, you can amend the agenda. The amended, it's assumed to be what's published, I won't say, normally it's 3 days prior to the council meeting. And then to amend that agenda, you have to have unanimous vote of the mayor and council, but you can't do it the day of.
I know that I brought, our procedures ordinance in there, I just wondered if we couldn't amend that to where we add, adopt the agenda.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, we
absolutely.
can amend that
Yeah,
ordinance.
that's an amendable ordinance,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You can amend an ordinance, and you can always amend.
And some places do adopt the agenda. I know some meetings where that's done.
I'm done.
Are you sure?
Uh-huh.
We need to go into executive session personnel, so we're gonna have to vote on it. And then we'll not reconvene after the meeting.
Somebody.
Yes,
Yes. You gotta wait on it.
say yes, Jeff.
Yes.
Alex, motion,
Oh,
Monica, second. And I get a roll call. They all said yes.
Yeah, we're on this.
Mayor took care of it. He said yes, yes, yes.
One time.